Welcome to Made in Alpharetta, the only podcast dedicated to showcasing what makes Alpharetta so awesome. Today's show is brought to you by the Alpharetta Convention and Visitors Bureau. I'm your host, Kathleen Sturgeon. Being from the South, I've had my fair share of biscuits, from homemade to restaurants to store-bought. So when I visited Maple Street Biscuit Company a few months ago for the first time and tasted their biscuits, I knew I was in for a treat, and I was definitely right. So before we jump into the show, be sure to listen for the secret words during today's episode to enter to win a gift card to Maple Street Biscuit Company so you too can enjoy the deliciousness that awaits you. And joining me in the studio today is Stacey Staley, the community leader of the Alpharetta location of Maple Street Biscuit Company. Welcome.
Thank you. I'm glad to be here.
I am glad you're here too, since you brought biscuits. I'm pretty excited about that. And I have so many questions because Maple Street just seems like such a unique experience in the restaurant industry, and I really enjoyed it. So
thank you.
Got a lot of questions for you today. They're easy questions, don't worry.
Okay.
So can you first start by telling me Maple Street wasn't started in Georgia, is that correct?
That is correct. Maple Street Biscuit Company began in Jacksonville, Florida. The two original owners are Gus Evans and Scott Moore, and they were basically two guys that had lost their jobs and decided that they were going to go out into their community and create comfort food with a modern twist, and that's how it all began.
Yeah, that makes sense. I mean, from my experience there, that definitely suits you guys. So how long has the Alpharetta store been open?
We opened at the end of May, so a little over 6 months, I guess now. Okay. And they started in Jacksonville, Florida in November of 2012.
Oh, wow.
So they're a relatively new company per se, but have been around for a while in the Florida area, in the Florida market.
And how many locations are there?
31.
Oh, wow.
Currently 31.
That's
yes.
a lot from that short amount of time.
Yeah.
So clearly they must be a favorite wherever they are.
Yes, they're doing phenomenally well. People love the biscuits.
Yeah.
And people love the gravy. So I think that's a big part of it.
Yeah. And so how did you get into this role?
Honestly, my degree is restaurant hotel management.
Okay.
And I have kids. I have 6 children. And so I was looking for a job that had daytime hours. And I was ready to get back out in the world because all my kids are in school now. And I came across it on the internet. And I love breakfast. That's my favorite meal of the day. And so for pretty much my whole life, I haven't eaten any breakfast restaurant that comes along. So it's kind of a fluke per se. But when I found the company online and started reading about them, I was very much drawn to the company based on their principles and their foundations. Their whole premise is help people, serve others, and be a part of the community. And I had told my husband, because I have kids, so my main priority is my children. But I said, if I go back to work, I want it to mean something and I want it to matter. I just don't want to be a restaurant manager. And when I started reading about Maple Street and their whole foundation is built on that, help people, serve others, be a part of the community, I was like, well, that's totally something I would love to be a part of. And they really stand by those principles. They're very involved in the communities where they live with like the hurricanes that just hit in Florida. They took food and supplies. They collected money at all their stores. They really put their money where their mouth is. So I just was very impressed with them. And the more I read about them and started to communicate with the company, I was like, I'm in. It's right here where I live. And, it's everything I wanted to do. So that's how I came.
That's awesome. So I read online that you guys don't call it a franchise or a chain. You call it a community store. Can you explain that concept?
Well, just that, they want us to be in the community, here in Alpharetta, supporting the community, just things we can be involved in the community. We open normally at 7 a.m., but I've noticed we have a lot of people that come in the mornings, and they do business meetings. We have a lot of business people that have been coming in. We've had some, one-on-one people that are kind of, I would assume, and I've talked to a couple, but, kind of mentorship people that come in and sit. And so I've even told them, we're here as early as 6. I'm here at 6 a.m. every day making coffee, setting up. We're starting to make our biscuits. And so I've, let them know if you want to come in at, 6 a.m. and meet people early, you're more than welcome to have complimentary coffee. It'll be being made as I'm brewing it. But that's what we want to be there for, the community, people to come in, gather, sit, feel at home. There's a very homey, relaxed atmosphere. I feel like Monday through Friday. Saturdays is a whole nother ball game. It is crazy from pretty much the time we open the door until we close at 3 p.m. on Saturdays. But during the weekday, it's a much more relaxed atmosphere. And I mean, we just want people to come in and, visit and enjoy and take their time. And during the holidays, we had a lot of just mom groups come in, and they would sit and drink coffee and visit for hours. And I love it. Like, I'm just like, y'all take your time, visit, do whatever.
Yeah. And do you see, since you guys have kind of invited in the public, that they've been receptive to that?
Oh, yes, absolutely. We're just an establishment that wants people to feel at home and feel welcome, regardless of, the day they're having or, how things are going in life. And I think that people feel that when they come in, for sure.
Yeah, that's how I felt when I was there. It was such a cool, the vibe in there was just very welcoming, as you said.
Thank you.
I mean, it was nice. Everybody was just not low key, but calming, I guess.
It is, yeah. I don't even know how to explain it or describe it. But I feel the same way. When people come in and they sit down, people just seem kind of at ease finally, So even people that come in, I can tell are kind of uptight. And I don't know if when you come into our stores, we ask a monthly question. And so the reason we do that is because we want to get to know our guests. And last month's question during what was the December question? Do you guys? I don't even remember. And we ask it for a month straight. But this month it's been, tell us something on your bucket list, because you can't really do New Year's resolution because everybody's would be lose weight or, eat healthier. And so we have to try to think of a question that's got a wide variety of things. And so this month's question has been, tell us something on your bucket list. And sometimes you'll have people come in that they're like, I even had someone tell me I don't play your games. And I was like, okay, what's your name? And so they gave me their name, and now they come in once a week and I call them by name. But it's just kind of that thing, even that individual you could tell is a little more relaxed and enjoying the atmosphere and comes back. Whereas some people that just would be this is too much for me. I just can't take it. You can tell they're still coming back for more because they feel welcome. Yeah. So I've enjoyed that, getting to know people and their personalities.
Yeah. Yeah. When I was there, the question was, what celebrity I thought was the cutest?
Yeah, your celebrity crush.
Yeah. And I didn't know what was going on because I ordered and they were like, oh, okay, what celebrity do you think is the cutest? Who's your crush? And I was like, oh, are we just chatting here? What's going on?
What's going on here?
Yeah. And it kind of threw me for a loop. I was like, I can't name any celebrities right now. I don't know.
So a lot of times on Saturday when it's really busy and we got a line, I'll say to people, I'll go out while, the ambassadors are taking the orders, and I'll say, okay, we're going to ask you a question when you get up there. So I want you to start thinking about it now, because a lot of times people get to the register and they're like, you want to know what?
Yeah,
oh, last month was, what's one of the best gifts you've ever received?
Oh, that's a good one.
And so, but if you get up there and people are like, what is your best gifts? Especially adults our age, we're kind of I don't know. I buy all the gifts. I don't necessarily think about the gifts I've received. But I would say, okay, think back to when you were 10 or 12, and they're like, oh, I got a Hot Wheel or I got a whatever. So it's fun. It's just, I think it relaxes people.
Yeah, it was cool to sit there in the restaurant and hear them call out names of celebrities, because you're sitting there why are they calling out Justin Bieber or whatever, Obama, just random names. But it always made everybody laugh.
Yeah.
And so that was kind of cool. I was having my own meal with my friend, but the table next to me, we laughed when, they said Obama.
Yeah.
That's funny that they're yelling out Obama. And then we remember that's their crush. It was so amusing. It was a unique way to do it that makes it feel a little more personalized than just, all right, you're number 4. Wait for your number to be called or whatever.
Right.
Yeah. So, oh man. So do you, I feel really dumb to ask you this, but I'm going to ask you anyways.
Oh, no.
It's
now I'm scared.
It's a basic question. Do you eat a lot of biscuits? Were you just one day I'm going to go into the biscuit company or biscuit business?
No. And it's kind of funny because I have a 15-year-old. He loves biscuits. And so we pretty much travel around to different places and eat their breakfast sandwiches and stuff because we want to try the biscuits. He really wants to try the biscuits. I was just kind of along for the ride, and I would sample them when he'd give his opinion. And when we tried the ones at Maple Street, he was like, these are good biscuits. And I thought, okay, if my 15-year-old is telling me these are good biscuits, they are good biscuits. But no, eating biscuits was not one of my things. And I try not to eat a lot of carbs to begin with. And like that diet rule is out the door working at Maple Street because I'm eating biscuits and potatoes all the time.
Yeah. Well, I don't blame you. I would too. I mean, come on. So let's dig in, no pun intended, I guess, to this menu. So
Alrighty.
When I went, I had the bluegrass grits and it was amazing.
Yeah.
And where do these menu items come from? Because they're pretty... I mean, I keep saying this word, but they're very unique.
Actually, Gus and Scott came up with all the menu items. So they said that they would invite their neighbors over and just different friends, and weekly they would like make things. And he said sometimes they would get no, or they'd get, oh, wow, this is amazing. And I think some of it they came across by accident, as far as like the squawking goat, which we were talking about earlier. It's basically an all-natural fried chicken breast topped with a lightly breaded goat cheese medallion, and then topped with like our house-made pepper jelly. And I think they had the pepper jelly, he said, for something else, and they were trying to do the goat cheese on another item. And one of their wives was like, hey, put all this together and let's try it. And when they did, it was like, this is amazing. And everyone was like, we love it. So I think some of it was all of it was just trial and error. But they did a phenomenal job because all the items are really good. And basically, one of the foundations that we're built on is the comfort food with a modern twist. And so it's stuff you would normally eat, biscuits and gravy, but we don't call it biscuits and gravy. We call it the Ralphie. And then things like the all-natural fried chicken breast with the pecan wood smoked bacon and the slice of mild cheddar cheese and our house-made gravy. We call that the 5. Why? I don't really know. There's 5 items on there, maybe. And then the 5 and dime, we just add an egg to it. So I think they came up with the unique names, to make it fun, and just to make it different because it is basic food. I mean, anybody can buy a biscuit. You can get some gravy and that kind of stuff. But when you put it all together the way that, that they put the menu together, it's just like, wow, like that's awesome.
Yeah. And have you tried all the items?
I have. Yes. Yeah? I have done a lot of eating. I told my husband, I was like, if I keep eating like this, we're going to be in big trouble. But yes, I've pretty much had everything in some form or fashion. My favorite, and it's kind of funny because I do not like sweet. I'm not a sweet girl. But I love the farmer. And everything we make in-house. So like all of our apple butter, we make our B2 jam, we make, our pepper jelly, we make the only thing we don't make the maple syrup, but it does come from the Bissell family farm. It's 100% natural maple syrup. And we have that, brought in, but pretty much, everything is made from scratch. The biscuits, if you want to watch our, our main biscuit guy right now, his name's Taylor. And he does a great job with the biscuits. He even critiques his own biscuits, which is kind of funny to me. He's like, this one, these seem a little off to me. And I'm like, they look amazing to me. Yeah. So whatever you're doing, keep doing it. But since everything is made from scratch, we have to try it. I'm supposed to sample everything to make sure it tastes right.
Literal quality control, right?
Quality control. So yes, unfortunately for my pants, I have tried mostly all of it.
And you said the farmer's your favorite, so that's...
Yes. It's an all-natural fried chicken breast, and then we put the pecan with smoked bacon, a slice of mild cheddar cheese, and then we top it with our house-made apple butter. Oh. And so... For those of you that don't know, because I have never made, my house-made apple butter myself at home before, it's just literally apples with like seasoning and spices, and like you cook it down and then you blend it till it's like smooth, like butter. Like all my life, if you said, "Would you like some apple butter?" I literally thought it was like butter and apple, like combined. Yeah. That's not the case. It's straight apples. And so, yeah, that's my favorite item on the menu. It's delicious.
So do you guys make all the biscuits every morning before you open?
And throughout the day.
Okay.
Yeah, so we start at 6 a.m. It takes about 20 minutes to do a batch, and we get about 48 biscuits out of a batch. And so it's terrifying on Saturdays sometimes if we're super busy. Yeah. Because literally you are just making biscuits nonstop all day to keep up. And there's been a couple times like we're hanging on the biscuit thread. Like I'm like, biscuit faster, like we're going to run out of biscuits. But we hang in there. It's so far so good. And but yeah, they're made fresh all day long.
What has been the day that you've made the most? Do you have like a number that was kind of a record for you guys?
I don't. I have not kept up with that so far. Like literally since we just opened in May and it's a newer establishment, a lot of it has just been like, let's get our practices in place, let's get employees trained, and let's just hang in there, until we kind of level out a bit to where we can look at that kind of stuff. But our busiest day of the week is definitely Saturday. I mean, if you want a calm, like serene experience, come Monday through Friday. You will get that.
Yeah.
If you want crazy days, environment and experience, come on Saturday morning at 9 a.m. And it pretty much we open at 7 and we close at 3 on Saturdays. I would say if you're there before 8:30, you're probably, come in, order, get your seat. If you come 9 a.m. or later, you're waiting for people to get up so you can grab a seat. Like it's just nonstop all day long. So I don't know how many biscuits we make on a Saturday, but it would be a lot.
Yeah. And so is everything natural and fresh? And you said it's locally sourced, or?
We use all natural fried chicken breast. We use pecanwood smoked bacon. So they are not local from Atlanta, but originally out of Florida when they started the company.
Okay.
And now they have sourced it all to the local commissaries here. Like we do order through Cisco, of course. But that all comes to us via Jacksonville.
Okay.
Like our stuff will say that it comes from their warehouse to our warehouse to get to us.
So it's still local, just not local to Georgia.
Correct.
That's cool. So can you talk about you said commissary, and then what do you call the cashier people?
We call them ambassadors.
Ambassadors, yeah.
So yes, ambassadors. We have just like unique names for everything. Like instead of the manager, I'm the community leader. And we don't refer to our guests that come in as customers. They're our guests because we want you to feel welcome in our establishment. And then I don't call my people my employees. I call them my team members. Just because I feel like you're creating an environment. Yeah. And I want people that work there and that dine there and, do business with us to feel welcome and to feel like they are a part of what we're doing, because they are. Everybody is. I could be a manager all day long, but if I don't have any, team members or guests coming in, I'm useless. You know what I mean? Yeah. So it's just kind of the mentality of the company in general. And I even said when I first started with the company, I was like, well, Sue, who do I call at, I think I said corporate office. And they was like, we don't have a corporate office, but you could call family support and we'd be happy to help you. And I'm like, okay, I'll call family support then. And that's literally like when you're emailing with people within the company, I mean, that's the feel you get from them. It's always like, oh, no problem, Stacey, thank you. And it's kind of funny, today is my birthday, which I don't really tell people that, but like they actually FaceTimed me this morning, like the owners and the lady in charge of HR, and they sang happy birthday to me on FaceTime. And I was half terrified and half like really flattered that they took the time to do that. And then I got another email from someone in HR that's just like, we're so happy you're a part of the Maple Street family. And so, I mean, they have created the culture from the top and it's coming down. So, it's been great to be a part of it. And now I'm just excited to be in Alpharetta to just, share it here in the community as well.
Yeah. Happy birthday, by the way.
Thank you.
So we're going to take a brief break to hear a word from our sponsor, and we will be right back.
Alrighty.
Planning a wedding, reunion, or corporate meeting in Alpharetta? The Alpharetta Convention and Visitor Bureau offers a variety of complimentary event planning resources to help you during your event or meeting planning process. Their expert team will help you find event venues and meeting space around the area, secure group hotel room nights at Alpharetta's 25 hotels, and provide you with free visitor information to share with your Alpharetta hotel guests. Visit awesomealpharetta.com to learn more. Welcome back to Made in Alpharetta. I am your host, Kathleen, and we are joined today by Stacey Staley, the community leader of the Alpharetta location of Maple Street Biscuit Company. Welcome back.
Thank you.
And happy birthday.
Thank you.
I feel like I should say that every 5 minutes.
No.
Like, I love birthdays.
You shouldn't.
So can you tell me about the 4 guiding principles that Maple Street focuses on? Online it says comfort food with a modern twist, gracious service, immaculately clean store, and sustainable business. So how were those chosen? Do you know, or why do you guys choose to follow those?
The comfort food with the modern twist, the way I look at it, and I mean, I haven't talked to Gus and Chris and Scott about this, but I would assume we're here to serve food, and you want people coming back over and over again. And when they eat the food, you want them to say, that was amazing. I'm coming back, and I'm telling all my friends. So the comfort food, you know, that people are going to eat that make you feel better. And then the modern twist would be the wow portion of it. Like, you know, that's amazing. I want to do that again. And then the gracious service, like I said, from the top down so far with this organization, they want to help people serve others and be a part of the community. And the best way you can do that is to graciously serve others. And if you're not serving people, you know, you can't create that type of environment, and you can't do those things. So the gracious service is just one of the principles that they are built on, and you just can feel it. Immaculately clean. I mean, when I dine out, even as a consumer, if I go in a bathroom and the bathroom's really dirty, I always think, I wonder what the kitchen looks like.
Yeah,
and that's just probably just me.
No.
But it's just one of those things that, you know, we want to strive to keep our entire restaurant immaculately clean. We're making biscuits right in front of our guests that come into the restaurant. And so that's just it, really. I don't even really know what else to say about that. Like, we just want to create a clean environment. We want our guests that come in to look around and think, wow, this place is awesome. Like, I want to come back here. And then the sustainable business part, if we're providing the comfort food with the modern twist, if we're providing gracious service, and if our restaurants and establishments are immaculately clean, you're going to come back. And, you know, we're going to be able to create a sustainable business. And being able to help people serve others and be a part of the community, like, you need all of those to be able to do that. And, you know, if you're not a sustainable business, you're not gonna be able to help others and serve your community. So that was just what they chose to build the company on. And they're doing a great job at it so far.
Yeah. And do you think that's kind of what sets you guys apart from other breakfast places or just restaurants in general?
I think so. Like I said, I am a consumer first. I love eating out. I love going out and that kind of stuff. And even when I walk into places, I can tell places I'll think, oh, I'll definitely come back here. And places I'm like, nah, you know, it was good, but I don't know. And I hope that when people come into Maple Street, especially right here in Alpharetta, where I'm at and where my team is working, that, you know, we make someone feel, you know, either great that day, or they love the food so much that they're like, oh my gosh, I'm definitely coming back here, you know?
Yeah, yeah. And what feedback do you hear from customers? Do you have regulars? I know you guys haven't been open a year, but you have regulars?
We do. We have quite a few regulars. Within the first week of being at this particular location, Alpharetta, very quickly I started learning some names. I mean, we have... if I'm allowed to say names, like I have Mr. Carl comes in every Monday and Tuesday. I have a gentleman named Blake that comes in multiple times a week. There's another guy named Josh that will come in and order his food and go, and then he brings his family in on the weekends. We have some, you know, people from the construction. We're right there kind of at the corner where the construction is going on of the new STEM high school, as well as the parking garage. And we have a lot of those guys that come in, you know, pretty regularly, probably, you know, because we're right there and it's been kind of cold. So they're like, we need coffee. And I'm like, come on in. But yeah, we have a ton of regulars. And I would say, I haven't had anyone leave yet that's like, this is terrible. I'm never coming back. I mean, you can't please everyone all the time, unfortunately. You know, that's just life. But most people that leave are just like, I love this place. I'm bringing my family, or I'll be back next week, or I'm telling all my neighbors and friends I live right up the road, which I love. I appreciate that. And if by all means, if someone does come in and something doesn't go as planned, or a food item is messed up for whatever reason, or we, you know, even if we don't make the error's not on our part or whatever, I want to rectify it. Like, if there is a problem, somebody please ask for Stacey, because I'm going to make sure that you leave knowing that, you know, I wanted you to love and enjoy everything that you had that day, and that you had a good experience. So for sure, the feedback's been great.
Yeah. And why is it so important for you guys to be not only so involved and ingrained in the community, but to make the community feel like they're part of your own family?
I just think that's important. I mean, and this is coming from Stacey. Like, I think everyone matters, and not everyone in life feels like they matter or that they're important. And in some capacity, you know, they're super important to somebody. You know, even if I just met you today, you know, I want you to leave knowing that you're important and you're valuable and you matter. And the food here is good, and come back and see me anytime because I'm always going to be here.
Yeah, it does kind of feel like the kitchen in your parents' or your grandparents' house, like you always have a seat at the table and
Yes.
they're always going to welcome you in.
For sure. Absolutely.
Great. Well, before we go, the secret words, I'm switching it up today, are squawking goat, and that is spelled, this is going to be a challenge for me, oh, wow, see? SQUAWKING. Goat, GOAT. I feel like this is a spelling competition right now. See, it's harder to say it out loud.
Squawking goat.
Yeah, squawking goat. So thank you, Stacey, for joining me today. Where can people find out more about Maple Street Biscuit Company?
Well, you could check out our website. It's just maplestreetbiscuits.com. We have a Facebook page, same thing, Maple Street Biscuit Company. We're on Instagram. And check us out. Come in and see me. My name is Stacey. If you do listen to this podcast and you come in and say, I heard you on the Made in Alpharetta podcast, and how fabulous it was. What a great job Kathleen and I did. I will give you a iced cinnamon biscuit, which I did bring today for you guys to sample. And I brought you some biscuits with our house-made apple butter and B2 jam as well. But yeah, come in. Tell me you heard me on the podcast, and I'll give you a treat.
Awesome. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you again to the Alpharetta Convention and Visitors Bureau. Don't forget to check them out at awesomealpharetta.com. Be sure to find Made in Alpharetta anywhere you listen to podcasts, including on iTunes. Follow Made in Alpharetta on Twitter at AlpharettaMade, and you can keep up with me on Facebook by searching Kathleen Sturgeon or on Twitter at KS Sturgeon. Thank you.
Thank you.